Our guest is known for a lot of stuff. His in-ring work for the WWE, he's an author, he's the frontman of a rock band, he's an actor, and also, for sure, the only guest I've ever had that appeared on Dancing with the Stars. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho, everybody.
Action, man.
How about that?
It's good, too. You left out that I'm having a bake sale at the Women's Auxiliary later on in the week as well. I make a fine brownie, I'll tell you that.
Very good. Well, Chris, thank you so very much for your time. Tonight, over at Pops, $10 show will get you in to see Fozzy. It's a 7 o'clock showtime with Fozzy, Fun Gone Wrong, and I Have a Bomb. $10 in advance, $10 day of show, and if you have an Uproar ticket stub and you didn't get to see Fozzy on Sunday, you have the opportunity to go over there and see them tonight. So I got a couple questions for you. I know your time is
time
very
is
valuable,
money.
but we'll get it going here. Now, M. Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold is on the Sandpaper single. How did that come about? How did you meet up with Mr. Shadows, and tell how that kind of came together?
I met Shadows originally when Mike Portnoy was in the band after the Rev passed away, and Mike and I are good friends, and I met the guys through that, and we really hit it off with Shadows. Just very kindred spirits, good friends. And we toured with them on Uproar last year. We did a stint when Seven Dust couldn't do some of the shows, so they asked Fozzy to kind of take their place for a bit, and got even closer with them. So when I was doing Sandpaper in the studio, there's the Whiplash, Cat Scratch, Witch Hunt in Black. I thought it'd be better as a call and response thing, so I called Matt up and to see if he was interested in doing it. And not only did he lay down the part I asked him to, but he rearranged the track a bit, put some extra love into it, and really streamlined it, and almost made it his own. So it was really, really cool to have him involved, professionally and friendship wise. I was actually just over at his house in Huntington Beach after SummerSlam, and for the third night in a row, I woke up on his living room floor. So every time I go to his place, I don't know what happens. I just wake up on the floor in a big puddle of drool. So, but yeah, it's good when you can get one of your buds involved, especially a guy as talented as him. And it's just helped Sandpaper go through the roof. It's been huge for us to have him involved.
Now, when you have a guest spot like that, or an idea for a guest spot on a song, do you also, when you give them the idea, do you give them, like M. Shadows had, the creativity to kind of...
I mean, you look at Shadows, you look at Avenged, I mean, the proof's in the pudding. They have 20, 30 radio songs. I mean, they know exactly what to do to make a song the best it can be. And not that we don't, but when he heard it, he just said, listen, man, there's a big instrumental section that was in there that as musicians, you always put stuff in there to show that you can play. But as a song, especially as one that we had already earmarked as going to be a radio song, it didn't add to the song, didn't subtract to it, but it wasn't really necessary. He's trimming the fat, and he had an idea to get rid of that, do a double chorus instead, intricate, musician talk. But the bottom line was he made it a better song. Mm-hmm. And when I gave it to him, I said, listen, man, do what you want with it. Because he said, I have some idea. Do whatever you want. You put it down. The worst that happens, we don't like it and don't use it, but maybe you can give us an extra vision on this song that we wouldn't have had if he wasn't involved, and that's exactly what he did.
Now, when you are out and you're doing what you're doing now, promoting Fozzy, do you get wore out with wrestling questions? Do you mind?
Not at all, because it's part of my legacy. I mean, I've found now that it's almost a Chris Jericho brand at this stage. I mean, you mentioned all the things that I've done. When I was a kid, I wanted to be in a rock and roll band, and I wanted to be a wrestler. I've been playing in bands since I was 12, and I've been wrestling since I was 19. That wrestling obviously went to the highest mountain you can go to, so I'm always going to have people that know me just from wrestling. But I found too, there's a lot of people that know me just from Fozzy. There's a lot of people that know that I do both that are just Jericho fans. So I would never shy away or be angry about people wanting me to sign wrestling belts or talk about wrestling stuff, because it's part of who I am. I would never be embarrassed or turn my back on that ever.
Right on. We're talking to Chris Jericho of Fozzy. Again, you can see Fozzy tonight over at Pops. Now, how we talked a little bit about the Uproar Festival. How did you guys' participation in it come about? Was it a carryover from last year?
It's a carryover from last year. Okay. We had a relationship with the promoters, John Oakes and John Reese. I don't even know how that came about, but we kept hammering. We wanted to do last year's tour, and they were like, well, we're booked, but you can do this week of dates that Seven Dust can't do. And I almost consider it was like an audition for us, let's see what these guys are all about. And we have a very high, energetic, very, oh my gosh, fun set when we play, and we're very road tested and road tried. night, and the band is tight, and we know exactly what we're doing to make sure that people have a great time. And I think when that happened, that the guys saw it and said, okay, well, next year for Uproar, we'll use it. And plus, at the same time, we signed with Century Media, which is the biggest record label we ever had on our side as well. So just kind of all the fruit lined up for us to get on this, on this Uproar, which has been great. I mean, we're on right before POD, so it's like semi-headlining the second stage, and the crowds are amazing. And anytime you can get on a tour like that, Shinedown and Papa Roach and Godsmack, I mean, it's one of the biggest tours of the summer. And for us to be on the biggest tour that we've ever been on, basically our first ever U.S. tour from soup to nuts, and have this really great, buzzworthy new record, it's all kind of, like I said, lining up. It's a perfect time for us right now.
Well, let's do this. Let's play the lead single from the album, which came out last Tuesday.
Yes, last Tuesday,
as long as I'm not mistaken. Song is called Sandpaper, features M Shadows from Avenged Sevenfold. This is Fozzy on 105.7 The Point.
A cat scratch, a whiplash, a witch hunt in black. Sandpaper. Sandpaper, tears in my skin. Sandpaper. Sandpaper.
All right, so you like what you hear, go over to Pops tonight. $10 will get you in. You can see Fozzy. A couple of bands open up the show. Things get going around 7 o'clock. And again, if you have your Uproar ticket stub, you can get into the show for free. So the Uproar tour started in earnest for you guys this past weekend?
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting weekend because I mean, you can't do wrestling and music. It's impossible. There's too much commitment to the side. And what had happened was, originally Uproar was supposed to start this week. When they moved it earlier, I had already agreed to do SummerSlam, make that like my last day. So we started the Uproar tour in Kansas City on Friday, went to Little Rock, played Little Rock on Saturday. Flight to LA got canceled at Little Rock, so I had to drive to Memphis to get up the next morning to fly to LA to go straight to SummerSlam to do that match. Then went over to Shadows' house, woke up on his floor, then drove from Huntington Beach to Fresno, which is about 5 hours. Worked Raw last night, finished up with the WWE, got on the plane this morning, flew to St. Louis, do our show at Pops tonight, then back on the Uproar tour. And then that's it for WWE. It's all Fozzy, all Fozzy, all Fozzy, which is what we started doing on the last record, Chasing the Grail. It's like we really decided we want to take this to the next level. We've got a lot of momentum. We've got a lot of goodwill. Let's really push it and see where we go. And then, like I said, it just led one thing after another, just snowballing down the mountain with all this great momentum. So we're going to continue to keep doing that now.
Well, I don't know if this is the right question to ask you, Jericho, but do you have... Is the music part, it seems to me, and I mean, I've known you for 10 minutes, but it seems to me you talk with such ease and with great pleasure about the music. Do you enjoy the music more than the wrestling at this point, or is that even fair?
I don't know if you can even say that, because like I said, I didn't just wake up one day and go, hey, I'm going to be the singer in a rock band. This is like, it's not some kind of like celebrity vanity project or whatever. I've been playing in bands since I was 12.
Right.
My cousin Ray had a bass guitar and an autograph that said, "To Ray, rock on, Paul Stanley." And I thought, he's got a bass guitar and Paul Stanley's autograph. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Can I borrow your bass? I started playing bass and started my first high school band, Scimitar, which is like one of those curved swords that Sinbad the Sailor uses. And of course, the sword was the T in Scimitar. So yeah, I mean, and then, played all the high school dances and played, the bars when we started getting older and the parties and all that stuff. And then I got interested in wrestling as well. Like I said, wrestling took off first, but I still continued to play music and do demos. And long story short, when we started Fozzy in '99. It's like this other dream was coming true. So, and that's why we've been able to take it to this far, because this is passion. It's real. And I'll be playing music when I'm 50, when I'm 60. I'll be in the corner of an Applebee's with an acoustic guitar singing, Jeremiah was a bullfrog if I have to. I'm going to be playing music. It's just who I am. And I love wrestling, but I've never been like a wrestling trivia buff. Whereas music, they used to call me Mr. Metal in high school, and they call me a musicologist. It's just what I just love music and all the stories and all the history behind it. So there is a lot of passion there because it's who I am. It's what I do. And maybe because now Fozzy's growing, I felt the same way in about 2000 when I first came in the WWE. You could just feel like something was bubbling with Chris Jericho as this character. It's about to explode. And it feels the same way with Fozzy. Like there's so much stuff going on that I just feel like it's just going to pop to the next level. And it's exciting. It's like being on a whitewater raft, and you can just feel here's the waves and there's the rapids, and boom, over the cliff you go, and it's coming. So I just have that confidence, and I have that feeling, and it's a good feeling to have.
Now, this is another one of those questions that kind of goes back to maybe even the beginning of Fozzy. But did you find it hard, or was it harder for people to take you seriously because you were who you were, as opposed to just being a guy?
Of course. I mean, people automatically, it's just the way it is. When people step outside of a box, automatically they don't like it. And I've never seen myself as just a wrestler. I'm an entertainer, and all the stuff you said that I've done fits into that category. And the only people that ever tell you can't do something are the ones that have failed on their own. I don't listen to negative people. I don't care what people think. I know, because I know if I know it and I feel it, I'm going to do everything I can to make it work and make it happen. So the best way I can describe it is like 30 Seconds to Mars. Huge band, headlining band, and the lead singer happens to be a very accomplished actor. When 30 Seconds to Mars comes on the radio, you don't go, oh, that's the actor's band. Mm-hmm. And it's not like Jared's on stage, doing Shakespearean soliloquies. It's two separate things. Mm-hmm. Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden's an airline pilot. I don't go and say, oh, that's the airline pilot's band. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, right. and we've really gotten to that point where, people know that I wrestle, but when I'm on stage, it's not a wrestling thing. We're not on there talking about chair shots and, third rope stuff. It's Fozzy. Jericho happens to be a wrestler. Jared Leto happens to be an actor. Bruce Dickinson happens to be a pilot. Justin Timberlake happens to be an actor. You know what I mean? It's like you can do two things, but you have to get people's respect. And you have to prove to them that it's real, because people don't want to trust you and put their efforts and put their support in you if they feel that they're getting duped. You know what I mean? And I think now with Fozzy, they know this is as real as it gets. And that's why guys like Shadows are involved and are happy to do it. He gets it. He understands. He loves the band. He loved our band from Chasing the Grail, which is another reason why I called him. I knew he was a fan of ours from the music. And that's, all of these things kind of come together to where that's what helps you get to the next level, is the passion and commitment and the belief in yourself.
Very good. Now, boy, I get absolutely entranced by you on this microphone just as much as I do when I'm watching Raw. Now, a couple of questions, and then I'll let you get out of here. How difficult is it for you, and do you have to, while you're on the road, stay in wrestling shape, or are you able to just kind of, hey, it's pizza and beers, let's go,
No.
boys?
No. That's not. That's never been my thing. I stay in shape not for wrestling, because I just stay in shape. I mean, actually, when I was doing Dance with the Stars, I herniated a disc in my back, and I couldn't walk. I couldn't sit down. I couldn't sneeze. It was awful. Started doing yoga, DDP yoga, actually, old wrestler DDP, and it's just yoga just completely opened my body up, and all the pain went away. And I lost a lot of weight from that. I lost a lot of weight from Dance with the Stars, and I lost a lot of weight because I saw James Hetfield at the Metallica 30, and he was so skinny, and I was like, James, what did you do? And he said, I went on this thing called the caveman diet. And I was like, what's the caveman diet? So he explained it to me, and I started doing that. So that's basically my workout, is yoga and just really watching my diet. And also, too, when you're the lead singer of the band, you can't go out and drink and go party and, go to a smoky bar and talk over other people with the loud music. I got to be more responsible than anybody else in the band. If we have a gig the next day, I can't drink the night before. I can't stay out late. You know what I mean? You got to be really careful. It's almost like you got to be the choir boy of the band, not the other way around. If it's a night off, you go party and have some fun, but there's too many gigs in too short of a time, and every gig counts. You got to be the best band on the show every night. So if I'm a guitar player and I'm hungover, you can squeak your way through the gig. If you're the singer and your voice is shot, there's no hiding it.
Well, again, we're talking to Chris Jericho, WWE superstar, as well as frontman of Fozzy. Go see him tonight over at Pops. $10 gets you in the door, or with your Uproar ticket, you get in for free. One last quick one. I had the opportunity to watch Raw last night. Is this it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, the point is this is now that Sin and Bones came out last Tuesday, you do what's called the touring cycle, and that entails, we have dates booked up until the end of March now, with more to come. And when that tour cycle is done, we'll see what happens. That's why I came back this time, is because the Chasing the Grail tour cycle ended. I had 9 months. We did a record. My part was singing for 2 weeks. And then I had 8.5 months of nothing to do. Went back to WWE, had a great run. I was really happy with all the great stuff that I did. And, my job now is to help the younger guys and help impart some experience to them and still do what I do. And I felt really happy with it and really excited about it. But I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, it was sad to leave, but I'm way excited to be on this tour and to get going with Fozzy again and really get this ramped up and, like I said, go to the next level. So will I come back to the WWE? I probably will. I mean, I feel great, like I said, and it's actually kind of cool that I can kind of go back in and out. And some people get mad at me for that, but it's just the way it is now. You know, I'm not going to be wrestling forever, but there's no reason why I can't wrestle for another 10 years as long as, you know, I can still spend as much time as possible with Fozzy, which has now become the number one priority, you know, career-wise for me.
Very good. Now, again, Sin and Bones, new Fozzy album in stores now, and I'm going off the top of my head here, so correct me if you gotta. Tonight, 5:30 at the Slackers in Fairview Heights, Illinois, if I'm not mistaken.
Good, yeah.
It is your opportunity to get Sin and Bones, also to get it signed by the guys in the band.
Yeah,
so 5:30.
We'll be there for the in-store and then head over to Pops for the show. And the one thing that you keep saying, which is cool, which I didn't know, is that if you have your Uproar stub, you can come see the show tonight for free, because we were advertised for the St. Louis show, and a lot of people maybe bought tickets to see us as well. So if you went to Uproar and you wanted to see Fozzy and you didn't get to see us, I'm sorry, but come check us out tonight, still on the same ticket.
Absolutely.
And come and hang out and have some fun.
Chris, I really appreciate your time. I know that you've got a lot going on, but man, it was really great to spend some time with you, and very much good luck to you.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Future.
It's always fun to come to St. Louis. I used to live in Chesterfield when I was 5 to 7. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. The famous story in my family is that we were always told, don't play around the construction areas, and there was a basement that had been dug out, and me and my friends were playing near it, and I fell into it. My friends ran away, and I landed on a nail.
Oh.
And I climbed out by using like these struts that were hanging out the side of the like the foundation, the basement. Went home, hid, scared that my mom was going to yell at me. She came and saw blood everywhere. I had to go to the hospital and get the nail taken out, and I still have a little divot in my head. Thanks to Chesterfield for that. I'll always remember St. Louis and Chesterfield because of that.
Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Jericho, go see Fozzy tonight over at Pops. Again, $10 gets you in, or if you got an Uproar ticket stub, you're in for free. Chris, thank you again.
Thanks, man. We'll see you tonight, guys.
Stone Temple Pilots, Vaseline on 105.7 The Point, everything alternative.